Another story for you. This one is called Diminuendo's Grand Crescendo. High above Earth, in the void of space, a palace of light silently orbits the planet. Appearing as a star to the souls of Earth, it houses the powerful young boy who created it, the one who would be called Diminuendo. He resides at its center, amid layers and layers of solid light walls, sitting with his ears cradled in his hands, to protect against a noise that it seems only he can hear.
"The walls aren't enough," the young boy said. "There's got to be a way to dampen this noise. Someone has to know how."
This notion in mind, the boy moved his luminous castle, blazing a trail across the universe at the speed of light. In an eternity of seconds, he would find a planet of pink flowering clouds, whose forms dripped sap and grew bark on their veneers. Here, the air and soil were one, at once providing the breath of life and nourishment's fare. It was here that he would find the artful living flower, the one called Caduceus. With charred petals of a daisy and chipped brambles of a rose, he was an enormous plant, just taller than most humans. He molded his body to imitate that of the young boy, and greeted him exuberantly.
"You're new!"
Caduceus exclaimed.
"What brings a psychic like you to my humble abode?" "The noise," the boy began. "You can hear it, can't you?"
"I can," Caduceus replied.
"How do you deal with it?" the boy demanded.
"I channel the pain into something beautiful," Caduceus answered. Caduceus then created a flame in his palm that flickered and danced as it charred his petalled fingers. Watching him closely, the boy learned the technique, creating a burning light in his own hands.
"This hurts," the boy said with a grimace. "Not as much as the voices do, but still."
"One must suffer for their art," Caduceus replied. "Such is the pain of creation."
"I'll find another way then," the boy declared. "Surely someone else has a better answer."
Thanking the living plant for its lesson, the boy moved the light palace once again. In an eternity of minutes, he found a great prismatic maze of steel and technology, a web of archives from every civilization known and unknown to man, an archive that was gathered ironically by a long-forgotten force. There, among the stacks of recordings and books, resided a mechanical archivist that levitated via unknown means. The eye-shaped nodule unflinchingly regarded the boy as he entered its home. The nodule, named Ao, forewent a greeting to the boy, instead beginning with a query. "Are you here to learn?" it asked simply.
Yes, I am,"
the boy answered, attempting to mimic Ao's terseness of speech. "What would you learn?" inquired the nodule.
"I would learn how to quell the noise of souls," the boy answered,
continuing to emulate the robot's speech. The nodule paused a moment, processing the request. As it did so, a number of other archivist nodules appeared, their many shapes and forms swirling about Ao as it continued to think. They would arrange themselves into an imitation of the human form, with nodules coming together to form arms, legs, and a body for Ao. When the form was complete, Ao began its answer. "Focus on one voice," the archivist said. "Observe it. Understand it." As it said this, Ao produced a sound wave hologram in one of its nodule hands. "Emulate that sound," Ao continued, as it produced a sound wave hologram in its other nodule hand. Ao then pressed the sound wave holograms together, causing them to warble and disappear. "Now you can cancel the sounds with each other," Ao finished. Imitating Ao's display with his light, the boy successfully created Ao's sound and cancelled it just as easily. "Congratulations," Ao remarked. "Now do this for every voice."
"Every voice?"
the boy balked.
"That'd take hundreds of lifetimes."
Ao did not move as it replied. "Tasks as great as this tend to take generations."
"There's got to be another way," the boy exclaimed. "I've just got to find it."
With this, the boy returned to his castle of light, thanking Ao for its time as he left for the stars once more. In an eternity of hours, he would come upon the shell of a planet-sized entity. It was a many-rifted carapace, the body of an enormous space crustacean. Insectoid beings of all shapes and sizes scurried through the star crab's glittering innards, harvesting emeralds, diamonds, and bone meal. It was one such insect, named Ondanteles, that the boy sought. As a humanoid cross between a beetle and a grasshopper, this humanoid insect resided in the shellfish planetoid's empty brain case.
"Welcome,"
Ondanteles shouted when the boy appeared.
"You hungry? I just made some bug bits."
"Maybe another time," the boy rejoined. "Right now, I have a question for you."
"Oh yeah?"
the bugman queried.
"What do you want to know?"
"Do you hear the voices? The soul voices?" the boy asked.
"All the time,"
Ondanteles replied soberly.
"How do you deal with them?"
the boy inquired.
"I eat the noise,"
the insectoid answered. The answer greatly surprised the boy.
"Eat the noise?"
he repeated.
"How?"
"Just open yourself up, let it in, and absorb it," Ondanteles replied, matter-of-factly. "If you do it right," the bugman continued, "you'll gain a resistance to it."
With this, Ondanteles crossed his arms and regarded the boy.
"Why don't you give it a go?"
The boy nodded to this and opened his body up to the noise, allowing it to reverberate through him. An odd, tingling, stinging sensation rolled through his body as he did so. After some moments, the tingling disappeared, now replaced with an energized feeling.
"I feel stronger, but—"
the boy frowned.
"But my body couldn't handle absorbing all of that noise."
"You're pretty smart, bud,"
the bugman said with a smile.
"Your body would destroy itself if you tried to absorb everything."
"This won't do either,"
the boy murmured dejectedly.
"I'll have to find another way."
And so, the boy once more returned to his palace of light, thanking Ondanteles, as the insectoid wished him good luck and bid him farewell. He returned to the palace, and returned it to the orbit of Earth, retiring once more to its center for a bout of deep thought.
"None of it works,"
the boy muttered.
"Changing the noise hurts. Changing the voices takes too long. Changing myself has too small an impact. But what if—"
the boy paused.
"I change all of that, and one more thing?"
New solution in his mind, the boy went on to test his theory. The boy began by absorbing the noise for a time, just long enough to build up a strong resistance to it. He then left the protective walls of his light castle, silently thanking Ondanteles for his lesson. Now on Earth, taking the full brunt of the noise, the boy focused on it, identifying a single voice and its pain. He silently thanked Ao for its lesson, as he made his way toward the singular voice. When he found the voice, he led them through the process of changing their noise and pain into something beautiful. And as the soul sang its new song, the boy silently thanked Caduceus for his lesson. The boy then taught this soul all that he knew, and bid it to share the lessons with the next soul that it found. As the soul left to share its knowledge, it thanked the boy, granting him the gift of a name, Diminuendo, for he was small of stature, but great of impact. Thus, one soul would touch another, and they would sing in unison. Then 2 became 4, who sung in harmony, and 4 became 8, who sung in chorus, and 8 became 16. Thus did the cacophonous noise of earth become a beauteous sound of heart and soul. And as the boy continued his travels of the planet, the song would only become more brilliant and complex. With each new voice that was added, more discord became harmony, more noise became music, and more pain would become joy. The boy would remain on Earth. Its sound was now music to his ears. He would return only briefly to his castle of light, to regale his old masters of his new students and their lessons. He'd found a way, not to dampen the noise, but to reforge it, one voice at a time. But whenever he would return to the castle of light, he would sit at its edge, hands cupped around his ears, to corral in the accordant chords of the souls of Earth, and he would smile. Thus ends the story of Diminuendo and his grand crescendo. This has been a reading by Redcoat of Vernacular Games. Just so you all know, we do have a few other products that we're working on right now. We've got a board card game called Record Biz that's in the works. And, we're doing that for a client, I should say. And the buy list is listed underneath the YouTube channel if you'd like to check it out. I highly recommend it. We're getting very close to playtesting, and I'm really excited. Along with this, we also have a few games in the works. Of course, we can't really announce much about them right now. They're still going through the prototyping phase, but to tide you over, we have released 2 titles in the past. One called Highway to the Moon, which is on Steam, and another called Legends of Mathmatica Squared, Under the Shadow of Certainty. Yes, I know that's a mouthful, but I digress. They're both relatively fun games, at least I enjoy them, so you may download them on Steam or itch.io. In addition to this, we have also released a children's storybook in service of one Jeffrey Morgan, the purveyor of Inertia Productions, and soon to exist, a new comic studio, which certain we will unveil at a later time. The story is called The Fairy and the Dragon, and it's a nice little romp about a dragon and a heartbroken fairy, and how they help each other out. In addition to all of these things, we are also hard at work on many other products and ideas. Comics, stories, and board games. But for now, you will just have to settle for what I have announced here. But if you would like to see the others, see them come to fruition, or perhaps even aid us in this journey towards the creation of new items, new stories, and perhaps even new revelations, you may support us at Subscribestar or Buy Me a Ko-fi. Simply become a patron at one of those places and grant us your donation, if you so desire. More will come in the future, but as you well know, times are rough, the world is on fire, and so are we. So in that time, please, take care of yourselves. Enrich yourselves with different lessons, learn more, grow more, and perhaps the next time I see you, you will be one step closer to your grand finale, your grand song. And with that, I bid thee adieu. Farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and good night.